15 minutes with DJ Countryman and Rudi Lickwood. Saturday morning mayhem with two entertainment heavyweights. Join them with interviews, comedy and quizzes.
Child support money for you or something.
No chance to that, Babs.
No chance.
Morning, darling.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Alex.
So,
my internet's awful.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
He's gone, man.
15 minutes with Rudi Lickwood and DJ Countryman. Saturday mornings, gonna be the same again.
Harry and his new bride-to-be. Do you know that she's not the first?
Potentially the first black royal. Did you know that?
Did you know that?
Yeah, no, that one.
1744.
One queen,
Yeah.
Queen Charlotte.
Charlotte.
And Charlotte.
Charlotte. Okay, we've got a historian in our midst.
So we have a speaker spoken.
Charlotte. Her first name was Sophie, so you know she was black, didn't it?
She was an amazing woman. She
Yeah.
knew Mozart. She knew all those.
Do you know she actually was the first one to bring the Christmas tree into this country?
Yeah, you didn't know.
You didn't know that?
Guess where they buried her?
Where?
Windsor. And where is the wedding?
And when was she married?
Windsor.
Yeah.
So you see, we're still at the back door.
There you go. Does anyone know what a throwback is? Yeah. So just imagine the uproar. His first child. Proper. And not you know that blue black. Original black. Proper boss 12 black. Black like my shirt. You know, real black. You know there's gonna be, Parliament's gonna be recalled, you know.
What you put me on this time of morning? You're going to scare everybody.
It was a cassette. You know when you had to push the pencil in between into the hole? Yes, man. And spin it.
I feel like when you are speaking up for yourself, it should be unapologetic and it should be honest. I think that we all have.
So, for example, the West Indian community, there are many reasons why they may not, and you can probably tell me more than I know. But I think part of it is that they're being asked to trust the same structures that have also contributed to their discrimination, their abuse, their trauma, and their marginalisation over the years. And
this is acceptable. You can't dress like this in a Muslim society. So then who's got more respect for women? The West or the East?
But in Ubuntu, we have programs that kind of look at identity, raising self-esteem, looking at our history, looking at going not only...
Often when you watch the news and stuff, everyone's talking about race. And I'm just thinking, well, there's more than that. I know just having no dad and having to work out what it means to be a black man in the UK was a very, very difficult job.
You're on your second coffee and fact. Oh my God, listen, girl. I haven't even had a coffee. The thing is, if it wasn't for my daughter, I sent her a long text last night. But if it wasn't for my daughter, I think I would have still been asleep. If she's saying bye, that means that 8:15 is gone. Whoa. Oh dear. I'm having issues. Okay. There we go. There we go. That's a lot better. I was having a few issues just connected to the internet for some goddamn reason so early in the morning. Good morning, everybody, and Grand Rising. And welcome to
Grand Rising.
Friday morning rants with Rudi Lickwood. On my left there, as you can see, we've got Mr. Aston Phillips, my co-host. How you doing, Aston, man?
All right, blessed, man, blessed.
Aston, Matapha, James. And down below me, I've got Kevin Dawkins, better known as Pastor Darkins.
Amen. Good morning, all. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, and Juicy Juice. Juicy.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Boy, you got Peachy eyes today.
Yeah, this anti-glare just isn't working. It's giving me the worst thing.
Is that what they call it? Anti-glare?
It's anti-something. It's just it's not working. So I'll have to resort to the other pair that just look like mirrors.
Don't worry. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, but I do need them because eye strain and all that stuff. So
they do say that the older you get, the muscles in your eyes.
Let go of the older thing. Yeah, it's mature.
All right, then, as the years go by, yeah.
Thank you.
As the years move on, those muscles that we were using start to get a bit weaker in the eyes.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you noticed that. But I noticed that you're not wearing any glasses at all, Kev.
Well, I do actually wear glasses, but I just don't like. I only need it for stuff that's really close up. So when I drive, it's fine, and I just hate wearing them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yes. Truth of the matter is, I can't see a thing in front of me, but don't worry about that. I can hear you.
I'm having to wear mine because for eye strain. So that thing that Rudi was talking about, age and maturity. Yes.
But eye strain leads to headaches.
Yes, I had migraine all last week, so it was quite bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that one.
Yeah. You would have looked black and white, Aston, last week, as everything else did. So yeah.
Wow, that's some serious condition there, because like if you're losing the color as well, that is some serious condition there.
Yeah.
Well, according to Caroline, it's actually vanity.
Wearing glasses.
Vanity.
Fair play, because Kaz wears glasses as well. So yeah, okay, I'm good with that.
Kaz, I'm gonna have a pop at Kaz because Kaz wears pebble glasses, mate. That's what. We were terrible at school. Which is where I originally met Pastor Kevin Dawkins. That's where I actually met Kev. Isn't that right, Kev? Yeah.
We go a long way back.
Yes.
Not too long, because we're not actually that old.
No. As the grey will prove. But I do. I remember being back in the back of a garden, lifting weights. Does that bring back any memories? Does that bring back?
Wow. Yeah. Those are the days, man. I'm telling you, you look back and you think, wow, look how far we've come and look what God is doing and look how it's happening. And it's just awesome. And it's also awesome to have friends that long.
That's true.
That's right.
I think that's really something that I've really appreciated. I was saying to somebody recently that my best friend, we went to infant school together, junior school, secondary school, college.
Nice.
I was best man at his wedding. He was best man at my wedding. And we've been friends for 50 years, which has just been amazing.
50 years?
50 years. Because we first met in infant school when we were 5. And we've been friends ever since. So it's been amazing.
That's good. I think we're from that era where we could keep friends long. I have a friend that's over 50 years. But my daughter, who's 24, she hasn't got any that are like 20 years. in friendship. They just don't seem to keep them that long.
Yeah, that's sad. They're missing out, man. They're missing out.
But then again, the young people now, they don't go on the road to roam the whole of London like how we used to. You know what I mean? Because we used to be up and down everywhere, right? From the time you're done your breakfast, you can hit road, and then you come back.
Did you not go to school then, Aston?
Me?
You hit the road. Did you not go? You said you'd done your breakfast, you hit the road. You didn't go to school.
I attended school for lunchtime. That's it.
Lunchtime, and then you was out of here.
I was out. God.
Tasha just said, "Have we ate Queen Astrid?" Not yet. But good morning, Tasha.
Could one of you girls give her a ring and see that she's okay? For me, I really would appreciate that. All right. So I'm talking to the Rants and Bants in the crew. Could you give her a messenger call? Is she there?
Not sure really can see my message.
Okay.
I'm about to. She can't get on.
She can't get on. Okay. Thanks. Let me know. Let me just. You know what it is? I got a feeling it's my internet connection is messing about. I said so right from the beginning. For some reason, like we're already in. Whereas Coach Astrid, I think my signal has got to let her in.
Okay.
And it's actually messing me. It's actually messing me about. So Kev, man, when did the transformation take place for you? Because like I said, I knew you was quite a vain youngster who wanted to build these. So everything was about the guns back in then. Everything was about the guns and getting bigger and getting bigger. So what happened?
Aston, put him away.
I know. I actually feel a little bit left out here because my backdrop looks whack. But hey,
no. You're standing out, bro. They're standing out.
Thank you.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
you're a blessed guest.
It's crazy because I remember when obviously Rudi, I when we was in school, I did martial arts. Then martial arts went into bodybuilding. Yeah. And then that was it. I just went into bodybuilding like crazy. I actually was training to enter competition at one point.
That's right.
I was really, really big. And obviously, being as they used to call me back in the day, a redskin man. I still love myself. I was a raver, as you know, Rudi. I was a big raver and all of that lot. When I was 18, I went to a seminar at Kensington Town Hall, listening to a guy called Dr. Ivan Van Sertima talk about Egyptology.
He's a Guyanese historian.
Yeah, powerful man. And when he started to show me my ancestry and the power of Africa, I became very politicized at that point. Stood on the Pan-Africanist platform for over a decade, and particularly came against Christianity because I know that Christianity was used to oppress our ancestors. So I was very anti-Christian in particular. I was anti-religion, period.
Yeah, because he went through a black thing, innit? Remember he's going through that whole Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King.
He
was hard. He was hard.
I joined the All African People's Revolutionary Party.
Wow.
So that's good. And I wasn't raised. And the thing is, I wasn't raised in church. I wasn't actually raised in church. My mum and dad, they're from Jamaica, obviously believe in God, but I wasn't raised in church at all. Didn't go to church. Didn't want to go to church. Met my wife. Proposed to her 25 years ago. And then she said, right, we're going to plan the wedding. We're going to get married in church. I thought, you're having a laugh, mate. I ain't getting married in no one. That ain't happening.
Some slave port.
Yeah, so we argued about it. But obviously, I acquiesced in the end because the wedding is more about the bride than it is about the groom. So we got married and we're still happily married to this day. And then
that's nice.
Thank you very much. 24 years this year. And then
if I disappear, it's to go and get Coach Astrid. All right.
Sure.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, we'll talk amongst ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So my wife was raised in church, and obviously she left church, hence marrying me. You weren't going to find me.
Was that the parting gesture? You got married in church and then she had to leave?
No. She was raised in church, but she left church when she was 15.
Okay.
And then we
went
met
along.
Yeah, and then she was a party girl. I was a big time raver. And then when we got married, she decided to go back to church, which really annoyed me. Because I'm now going to Night Moves and Nations and Chanel.
Night Moves. Wow.
Yeah, you remember them places. I was going there on my own. And
I'm from Birmingham.
And your woman's not with you.
Yeah, man. And she's telling me she's going to church. Like, church? Are you serious? Come on, stop the church foolishness. And so she would go to church regular, take our daughter to church. And then a year later, my wife would go to church and I would normally get out of bed after she left for church. Because what I used to do is if I got up while she was going to church, I would be like moany and miserable and what are you going to church for and all that lot. So a year after we got married, she left to church. I got out of bed, went downstairs, had my pajamas on, eating my cereal, and then God showed up in my living room.
Wow.
Literally, Aston, trust me, it was
hold on. You know what? You know my thinking is that you got this person in your living room and you're thinking, so who are you? And he said, well, I'm God. And then you sit down and have a conversation with this person. That's just what popped into my head. Sorry.
Yeah, well, what actually happened was I'm there in my pajamas eating my cereal with the TV on, and then all of a sudden this overwhelming feeling of joy hit me. It was the most incredible feeling I've ever experienced in my life to this day. Wow. And I put my cereal down. I'm walking around my front room thinking, holding my head like this, thinking, what is this feeling? It's incredible. It was beyond any experience I've ever had, and I've never had it since. And I'm literally walking around my living room like this, thinking, what's going on? This is amazing. This is incredible. And then God spoke to me with a voice that I heard. And he said, Kevin, and there was a slight pause. He said, Kevin, everything's going to be all right, but you need to go to church. And I literally freaked out. I sat back down in my armchair, had my arms on my arms of the chair, and I sat there looking at the ceiling saying, that was God. That was God. I was in shock. But the other thing was, because I was totally opposed to every religion, but I knew which God it was because he told me to go to church. He didn't tell me to go to the mosque or the temple or the Gurdwara or anywhere. He told me to go to church. And I freaked out. My wife came home from church, didn't say a word to her. The following Sunday, I went to church, and here I am 23 years later, pastor in a fantastic ministry, preaching the gospel that I used to cuss out big time. It is just amazing. When people say God is good, I know it not only theoretically, I know it experientially. I know that God is real. I know that he is true. And why he did it then, I have no idea. But yeah, that's it. And so obviously man like Rudi, that's known me from school days when I was out there in the clubs, and
that's what they see. That's what they see. That's what they see, and that's what they associate you with, isn't it?
So it's always funny, because you go to like when somebody passes away and you go around to the house, leading up to the 9/9 in the funeral. And normally when I go to the house, I wear my clerical collar. So when you turn up now, all of the man then from back in the day say, yo, Kev, yo, and then they see the collar and they go, whoa, what happened? And they get shocked. Wow. And I'm like, but the reality is for me is that I am still me. God's got rid of the bad bits, but I'm still, I remember doing a funeral in Willesden and the church was ram, and I'm conducting the whole service, and it comes to the sermon. I preach for about 15 minutes, and then I say, I was sharing my little bit of my testimony, and then I said, back in the day I was a gallist. And the people in the congregation was like,
what?
Did that pastor just say he was a gallist? What? So it's about being real. I'm still who I am, but I understand that God loves me. I understand that Jesus loves me, and I understand he's got a call on my life. And I respect people that don't believe in Christianity, because I didn't for 33 years.
Okay.
I'm not a Bible basher. I bust joke. if you look on my iPad, I got a whirl of tune on my iPad from all the Revival, Studio One, Rare Grooves. I still got it on my iPad. I still listen to it today. I love Jesus, but it's kind of, I'm just me. I'm different. I'm from the ends, bruv. So that's what happened to me, and I thank God every single day for him saving me and using me and giving me a platform to just share the love of Christ. And yeah.
So can I ask a question? How is it, because that's quite interesting around music, because that's one of the first things that a lot of Christians would say, give up secular music, it's not good, don't listen to this, that or the other, change your ways, only listen to hymns and, you know, forthright gospel. They even question the type of gospel that you listen to. So yeah, what's your saying on that? Because you just said you listened to different.
Yeah, I was out a couple of years ago, and I was talking to Bushman from is it Unique or Roots? I can't remember which one it is. And I was saying to him that when I drive home from work, I listen to him, and he nearly dropped the mic. He was like, listening to me. I said, yeah, it is. There are some Christians that are very much, okay, you get saved and you can't listen to anything like that at all. And I understand that, because what happens with us, we all have a door. If you open that door, it can lead somewhere where you don't want to go. Okay. So music is your door, and you open that door and it will lead you somewhere where you don't want to go, where God doesn't want you to go. You have to shut that door, and you can't reopen that door. So you then have to just listen purely to gospel and hymns and stuff like that. That's not my thing. I can open that door, listen to Rare Grooves, I can listen to Studio One, Lovers Rock, but it's not going to lead me anywhere. It's not going to take me off my path with Christ. So that's okay. You have to know your own personal thing. One of the things, again, and I think the way that God deals with me is about reaching people where they're at, which is different to other people. So I don't look at others and think you're doing it wrong and I'm doing it right. It's just how God deals with me. You know, again, like funerals, for example, I use that one because, you know, after the funeral, you go back to the hall and they got a sound system playing music. And I will go there and I'm wearing my clerical attire.
And you're on the formation floor, yeah?
And I'm eating my food, and they'll drop a D Brown, and I'll be humming the tune. And people are looking at me like, "Oh, that pastor man is humming the tune." And they're like, but it makes for me. This is not, because it's not every Christian can be this way. Not every pastor can be this. This is how God is dealing with me. When I do that, it opens up a dialogue.
Yes,
with people. They think, hold on a minute, this man said in the service he was a gallus, and he's using ends language, and then he's humming an Investigators, or he's singing the words to Baby I'm Yours, and people are like, this guy,
that's a tune.
Come on.
Right, the more realistic dilemma.
You know, when you was in the dance and they dropped Baby I'm Yours and you didn't get a dance, you're vexed.
That's right.
Upset.
You're vexed.
Enough man walk out.
So for me, it's about, this is how God is dealing with me. You bring a different pastor on, and God will deal with him differently. So it doesn't mean that he's right and I'm wrong, or I'm wrong and he's right. It doesn't. It's how God deals with you, and that's the way God deals with me. Especially because I was so anti-Christian and so pro-black. It's kind of a marriage of, I still stand on a Pan-Africanist platform. I still believe that we were oppressed and we do need to be liberated mentally. I still believe that. I still stand very strongly for my African Caribbean community, but I stand on a Christian perspective, which confuses some people.
There is a question. There's a question in the back of my mind on the Pan-African aspect, right? Is that we, as I say, conscious people, right? We are aware of the journey and we document it. We speak about it continuously. Okay. You may not know, but I'm a presenter on Galaxy Radio, right? Okay. And we're very much on the African-centered type of conversations, and obviously that lifestyle in that way there. Now, we also acknowledge, and it has been proven, that the church involvement in the slave trade, right? Where do you stand, or what's your feeling on that aspect of it?
That's a heavy question. It's a really good
It
question.
is, but it's a question that I have no problem answering.
That's it, yeah.
Because standing on a Pan-Africanist platform for 10 years and understanding what was said and what was documented and what is a fact. I was invited onto a talk show about 6 or 7 months ago. And the whole talk show was based around the involvement of the church and slavery. So I came on wearing my clerical collar because I wanted it to be very clear. Apart from having my title on the screen, I came on wearing my clerical collar, so you know straight away. And there was 6 of us on the panel, like similar to this. And the question was asked about, you know, Christianity and slavery, and was the church involved in how? And I said, listen, the bottom line is this: people use the Bible to oppress our ancestors. That is a fact, and it was wrong. And God is going to judge those people. End of story. God don't play. God don't sleep. The Bible says God don't sleep. God will judge those people. But here's the thing. What they did was they deliberately misappropriated the Bible. They shared the bits that benefited them and kept back the bits that would liberate the people that they were oppressing. So it wasn't the Bible. It was manipulation by wicked people. It's a bit like the way I can use an analogy, which I use for marriage. People say you don't need to get married. It's on a piece of paper. Marriage is not necessary. You know, I don't believe in marriage. You know, it's just. So I said to them, "Have you ever seen a drunk car?" And they look at me like, "Is this man lost it? Has he dropped a screw?"
Yeah, has he lost it?
Right. If a man or a woman gets in a car and drives his car down the road drunk and mounts the pavement and kills somebody, you don't ban cars, you ban the person. Marriage is the car, it's the people in the marriage that are the problem.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with Christianity. I vehemently, vociferously argued against Christianity for over a decade. But I then realized, as a Christian, that the Bible is actually true and it's correct and it is accurate. It is people who manipulated it. So, you know, it's like saying throw the baby out with the bathwater. No, if the bathwater is dirty, you don't throw the baby out. You just change the bathwater. You keep the baby. So it's a unique perspective that I have, that I realize that the gospel is true. Jesus loves us. God is a colorless God. But the Bible has been manipulated. And unfortunately, the church has done a really bad job at redressing the wrongs. It's done a terrible job because it's still dominated by the wrong type of people. And that's just being honest. It is, you know, so we still have a long way to go to redress the balance.
Yes.
I have a platform that God is allowing me to redress the balance. And I'm happy to have that platform, happy to have the debate. But definitely Christianity was used to oppress our ancestors without a shadow of a doubt. And it's just wrong. And, you know, if I could apologize, I would.
Yeah, there's a few comments. There's a few comments. Sorry, Aston, there's a few comments. Because Rudy's not here, we can't see them flying up, but there's a few people have said that in agreement with you about it being a personal relationship with God, but also about the colonizers who used their stories against us. So they were also in agreement with you. And so I didn't want people to think that we're not looking at their comments. It's just that they're flying past really rapidly.
Everybody's on it.
Rudy's still desperately trying to get Astrid in. But I think Rudi might also have an issue. So yeah, I will try and look at the comments as well, everyone. So.
Because I'm looking at comments here. I mean, even, you know, the portrayal of Christianity that Jesus is a white guy. If you go on YouTube and look for anything to do with videos to do with Christian, it's always produced as white, and that is just wrong. It's wrong. I'm not going to justify it. It is wrong. And that constant perpetuation is a plan of the enemy, because one of the things that the enemy does is he has us divided. division is a major weapon, because even before I became a Christian, as a young black boy on the ends, you know, I grew up in this sort of my parents are from Jamaica, so if you're from
Nigeria,
not even Nigeria, if you're from
St. Kitts or Barbados or Trinidad,
you're Somali. So
Small island.
Oh, you took it there. You were really specific.
Yeah, but you understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, I look back at it and I think, hold on a minute. We all came on the same slave ships, but we were just distributed in different directions. We're all coming from why am I even referring to you as a Somali? It's a planet.
It even became, you know, we're talking about postcodes and stuff like that. Trevor was mentioning that. Even for Jamaica, my parents are Jamaican. My dad is from St. Thomas and my mum's from Manchester. So they have a discussion about parishes. So you as a country, somebody, me come from Tommy next to Kingston. And we're like, whoa, let it go. It's not that serious. But I do remember bringing a boyfriend home and my mum asking, where are your parents from? I'm like, why don't you get to know him first? You know, it's a terrible thing. So yeah, you're right about that whole thing. Whereas the area where I was raised, there was hardly any Jamaicans there. There were mostly Bayesians and Kittians. And so we were very eclectic as an area. But then there were different, I live in Birmingham, there are different pockets of Birmingham and they were all Jamaican, definitely. And they were renowned, and that's called Handsworth. So they were renowned. Most people in Handsworth were Jamaican.
Sure. Well, my parents came to this country. They went to Birmingham. They lived in Birmingham first. My brother and sister were actually born in Birmingham. And then they moved back to London, and then I came along afterwards. So, you know, I shout out to all the Brum people in the house. I love Birmingham.
There's lots of us, you know. Don't watch
that. My aunt still lives.
I think Aston. There's lots of us. You watch,
Aston was where my mum.
Listen. We're closer than what you think, because my mother is from St. Thomas as well, and my father. Okay, so I'm a country boy in my heart. Yeah,
my mum's from Manchester. My dad's from.
All about the red dirt, Manchester. Yeah,
man.
But all of that, the whole thing is about division. That's the bottom line.
Man.
There's a plan from the enemy, and one of the things that the Bible says that our fight is not against our fellow human beings, but against spiritual forces. And so a lot of the fights that we're having, we're fighting against people when we all need to stop and say, hold on a minute. Why are we fighting against each other? Let us change the narrative and start fighting against the real issue. I've been working with knife gang crime in young offenders institutes for the last 16 years.
Yes.
And deal with young guys, and they're saying, you know,
and women and young girls as well.
No, I deal mainly with young boys.
Okay then.
Okay. And young guys, you know, sort of you know, those at risk of entering into gangs, and particularly those that have come into the criminal justice system. I deal with them a lot, or I've been doing that for 16 years. And, you know, they talk about my ends. So I say to them, do you own any real estate on your ends?
Wow.
I say, you're living in your mum's house and your mum's got a council house. You don't even own a house. And you're fighting over an ends where, you know, you can't go to certain places. You know, guys come into a jail and they're paranoid about, because the first question they'll ask you is, where are you from? So if you're from Tottenham and I'm from Hackney and me got beef, we're going to have beef. I don't even know you. I don't even know who you are. I don't even know why you're here. But because you say you're from Tottenham and I'm from Hackney and I got beef with you, we're going to have beef. It's madness. So there's a whole crazy dynamic out there that, you know, we have to come, you know, at the end of the day, if you don't believe in Christianity, that's your prerogative. We can argue about that theology all day. I've got a bachelor's degree in divinity. We can argue deep on that one, but we do have some common ground that we can believe in and stand on and fight for. And I think that's something I want to say, you know, I say that to my community, that there are, you know, the real enemy isn't me because I'm a Christian. The real enemy is the ones that are still continually oppressing us, and still, systemic racism is just bonkers.
So what's your exit strategy for those individuals? How do you support them? Because you're saying that Christianity, sorry, Aston, is their prerogative, but you said you've been working with them for 16 years. What is it that you do for them, or give them as insight to work through that?
I think the number one thing is identity, because I value my life. And because I value my life, I know that my life is important. So what it also means is that I then realize, hold on a minute, your life is important and your life is important.
That's right.
So I'm not going to do anything to affect you because I have a sense of value. A lot of these guys in the prison system, they don't have any sense of identity. They have no sense of self-worth. So it's easy for me to carry a shank and stab you because I don't value you, because I don't value myself.
Yeah.
One of the major things, and I've actually spoken to loads of guys who've come through the prison system, and they say the one thing that they realized was they didn't know who they were. They didn't understand that if I hurt you, I'm hurting me. If I sell drugs on my ends, I'm hurting my community, because they don't see a sense of identity. They just think it's all about me getting the P, as their man call it.
That's right. That's right.
Do you get any of them coming to church?
Yeah, loads of them. Loads and loads of
right,
them.
Right.
Loads of them.
Now that's the thing, because I've seen, you know, because like over the years, you've seen man who's roadman. And then as they come into those who do get there, they get into their more mature time, they said, "Why? Me I go church, you know." And then they start talking this God's thing. You understand? No, hey, straight. Right? I mean, I was the reverse. I'm the reverse, right? So when I'm seeing all these men who used to be out there, and I said, boy, one time, boy, I had to carry something just to protect myself against a man like you out there, right? And then you're gonna come to me about God, and I go, hey, what? I don't trust you, you know. Don't trust you. You understand? And like even though, and I have seen them, and I meet with them, I talk with them, right? They talk to me, and they're still coming like with this you know, boy, life is hard and God is gonna save you, and you know, God is good. But here what? Deep down in my heart, in my mind, I say, I remember you. And here what? I'm not turning my back on you. You understand? Right? So in that way there, I feel that we've got a intrinsic mistrust in that way there, like whether it be religion or whatever, right? But a man's path is a man's path. Yeah. The other thing I would like you to make a comment on, right, is reparations, right? Because obviously you've seen and you've learned from both sides of the story as such, right? And the process of what we're looking now, and it has been more highlighted recently over the years, right, by the activities which many of us here in the UK are taking part in now, is the reparations process, right? Where do you see your stance, or what would you comment on reparations as you see it for yourself?
Well, I think absolutely that, you know, if you have perpetrated an institutional wrong, there should be an institutional penalty that goes with it. I absolutely believe that the established church should make reparation to our African people. I absolutely believe that. Absolutely. I mean, you look at the Catholic Church, it is worth billions. Anglican Church is worth billions, and they were the main benefactors from slavery. So I absolutely believe that they should make reparation. I absolutely believe that they should, and they have made apology. I know the Church of England, after the George Floyd murder, the Church of England did issue a very, very strong apology for its part in slavery, and they are looking institutionally at removing artifacts and stuff. They are doing things but like anything, you know, a big ship doesn't just turn on a sixpence. It takes a long time for a big ship to turn. I think the key thing for us in the African community, African Caribbean community, is we have to keep the pressure up The same way those police officers put their knee on George Floyd's neck and
That's
him, we have to apply political pressure. We have to apply community pressure. But the biggest problem that we have is that the best form of pressure comes from a unified group of people.
Yeah.
And that is the real struggle. So what I also say to people is, don't lose hope if your community is not getting behind you. You do what you do.
You have to do. Yeah.
God has given me a platform as a man that used to be a gallus, a big time raver. I've done stuff where I could have gone jail. Trust me. I tell guys that I see in prisons, because in the last 16 years I've been in 9 different prisons working. I tell guys and women that when I worked in women's prisons that I could have been in jail, and now I'm walking here wearing a clerical collar, telling you about turning your life around and living for Jesus, or just turning your life around in general.
That's right.
The key thing is that we. So I'm doing my little bit, and I know that I have made a difference in individual things. But we, as a collective, it's easier if we can come together and make it. But if don't get frustrated if we don't come together. Play your part. Do what you can do. Talk to the youth them on the ends. Come on, man. Stop looking. Listen, back in the day, and I felt ashamed when I used to think like this. Back in the day, you see 3 or 4 young black people. I'm talking about 15 years ago. Back in the day, you see 3 or 4 young black youth running down the road. You think, what did they do?
Yeah,
it's great.
No, instinct. Because what you be doing, you'll be looking, and then you say, well, who's chasing them? And more time you're thinking it's got to be police, right?
Exactly.
I mean, how many times do we walk past when we see a young person being stopped and searched, right? We just sort of like turn our face or just keep our head straight, like we don't want to see it. We don't get involved. You understand?
Yeah, and so what I did was I had to change on that. When I see young black boys running down the street, the first thing I look for is, are they trying to run after a bus? Or maybe they're trying to catch the train, or maybe they're trying to get to the library before it closes. That's my mentality now. I think that what we got to do as a community is we've got to just play our part. Rudy's got his platform. I've got a platform. If you have a platform,
utilize
play your part. Because like a big jigsaw puzzle, you know, every piece is needed. And rather than me criticize, well, what are you doing? And well, the church ain't doing this and the church ain't doing that, because that's the criticism I hear all the time. But I'm saying, all right then, but I'm doing my bit, and you do your bit, and we can do it together. And also, you know, as I say, for me, you know, if Rudi suddenly drops a Sam Cooke or investigators or in the background, I'm not going to suddenly, oh, the devil is a lie. I'm going to be nodding my head and saying, yo, turn it up. So we got to integrate and just stop the division and just play your part. That's what we got to do. And the church definitely needs to make reparation. And I think it will, but it's going to be a long time. But we have to keep pressure on. As an African Caribbean community, we have to keep the pressure on.
Claire.
Right.
I'm hearing myself.
Somebody's on a time loop. Right. Yeah, but what one of the other things is that even though you're like obviously using your ministry in that way there, right? Now there is an issue here that many a man has lost their wives through this, right? Relationships, you know, that would have been running longer if you didn't have the church involved in this element, right? How do you address that? Because, you know, obviously, the women, in my opinion, are being empowered, right? They're finding a reason for actually having a spiritual element of them, which I feel is a beautiful thing, right? But the men are not involved in it, or that like they seem to be put to one side, right? To the extent of that, the women will move on with the church in preference to staying in a relationship. What's your point on that? What's your view on that?
Well, I don't necessarily know if the women are moving on without the man, because one of the big issues that I was on a talk show on Tuesday, and my Facebook lives over the last 3 weeks, I've talked about relationships.
Right.
And there's a major problem in the church with, I'm saying a problem. There's an issue in the church with a lot of single women. They believe in God for a husband, and the husband's not turning up. And they're believing God, and they're gonna obey the word of the Lord, to remain chaste. They're not gonna sleep around. They're not gonna do that. And I'm certainly aware that relationships have ended, because if you're in a relationship with a guy but you're not married, and you are having intercourse, and then you become a believer, the Bible is very clear that we shouldn't have sex outside the marriage. So if the woman is now gonna lock that off,
Astrid, are you in the conversation?
That's going to cause a problem for the man.
Can you hear me?
So at the end of the day, as a Christian, we have certain beliefs that we're going to hold fast to. And if that means that if you're not going to respect that belief, or if you're going to try and force me to go off that belief, then we are going to have a problem. So at that point, then decisions have to be made. Do I, as a Christian, come off my righteous path to submit to you as a man or a woman, or do I continue to walk the righteous path and serve God? That's a personal, individual choice. As a Christian, my Christian beliefs are they're very strong, and I'm not going to violate my relationship with God to please another human being, because that's not what God wants. So it is going to cause some problems. It is going to cause some issues, but those are individual things. Those are situations that. Do
you question those that do? If there must be some in your church congregation, would you question their Christian walk, for those that say, they call it fornication, don't they? So
that's a nice
outside, so outside of marriage, fornication. Let's use it, because you've been using some amazing words today, which I've really loved. So do you question those that do? And is there reasoning? Because you're reasoning with us today. There are a lot of people that are believers and non-believers, and some would say things like, I had a child out of wedlock, and I'm blessed with her. However, that's one of the first things they would say. If I went to church, they would say, okay, your child is a blessing. However, you can't have any more. Not that I want any at my age, but they would then say, and Astrid laughs. Come on now, Astrid. But they would then say, oh, Sister Julie, you need to get married. You need to do this. You need to do the other. That's what would be there. And that would be a lot of pressure on women and men, because we already know there's lots of women in church. There's no men. There's no, other than the pastor, there's no men.
And I think that there's spiritual dynamics. So if you look at the Bible, when Moses was born, Pharaoh put out a decree to kill all of the boy children. When Jesus was born, there was a decree put out to kill all of the boy children. So we know that if you want a strong society, you have to have strong communities. If you want strong communities, you have to have strong families. And if you want strong families, you have to have strong men. That is the bottom line. So sometimes women will say, biblically, there's been a systematic assault on men. And I see it in terms of, the one of the big complaints in our community is a lack of fathers and a lack of father figures. That's a big thing. So we have to realize that there is an assault on men. So the enemy definitely doesn't want men coming to church, because if men come to church and they stand up on the principles of Christ, they will love God, they will love their wives, they will love their children, they will love their community. So there's a systematic assault on men. And also sometimes churches have been pressurizing in terms of, well, Sister Julie, you need to get married. And they have done it. That's a fact. You have to, as a believer, the Bible says each man is the Greek word anthropos, which means male and female.
Yep.
Each man, male and female, must work
together
in fear and trembling. So as an individual, my wife is amazing. She's incredible. She's a pastor in our church. I love my wife. But if my wife suddenly decided to go down the road of ungodliness, I'm not going down that road with her. As much as I love her, I'm not going down that road with her, because on Judgment Day, God is not gonna, I can't say to God, well, my wife and this and that. God's gonna say, what did you do? So we have
your
a personal,
choice. Yeah,
I have to have my personal conviction. I also believe that, unfortunately, the church has done a bad job in terms of managing relationships and stuff like that. Have put pressure on women.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. The thing with me, Aston, is I'm real, because I didn't grow up in church. So when I
don't one thing I don't want to do, I don't want to pressure you, I don't want to badger you or anything like that. But
you can't pressure me. I'm from Harlesden, man. You can't pressure me.
yo, mind yourself. Hey, yo, watch it out. Watch yourself.
Bring it on.
No. But the thing is, what it is, I want to hear what you have to say directly in that aspect there, because I could come with my things of saying, boy, you know what, enough relationship mash up over church business, right? But I just want to hear some answers that I know that, like, even in the fathers group that I'm with, right, we hear many a time when the person comes in and discusses the issues that they're probably facing at the time, right? There is another aspect of it as well, the interfaith relationships, right? You may have one person who's a Christian, one is a Rastafari or Muslim, you know, in that way there. What's your view on that then, interfaith relationships?
And again, a lot of the things are individual. As I said, the scripture says each man, again, man, male and female, must work out their own salvation with fear and trembling. So every human being is accountable to God individually. So on the day of judgment, I can't bring my wife, I can't bring my bishop, I can't bring my mom or my dad. Obviously, they probably won't be around then. So it's down to me. So when you become a Christian, you look at the tenets of the word, you look at the doctrine of the word, and you decide, I am going to obey God. And sometimes in obeying God, it's going to bring, well, not sometimes, a lot of times, it's going to bring conflict with other people. That is part of the territory. There's nothing we can do about that. And that is just the reality of it. I think the aspect of it is how we communicate that. I think that's where a lot of people don't take the time to really speak and sit and talk to a pastor or a church, a brother or sister, to really understand the nuances of it. A lot of women, as I said, a lot of single women in church. And the thing is, there's a guy in my church who's getting married very soon, and his wife came, his girlfriend brought him to church. And then when he came to church, he got saved. He became a believer, and they were living together. And then he said he had a revelation, and he went back home and said to his girlfriend, you know, me and you can't sleep together no more. And she was like, whoa.
1 2 1 2. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Aston, and Julie Jews. I apologize, Coach Astrid. Kevin, man, you do what you do. I love what you do. You stand by everything that you say. And I've been listening via my phone. Meanwhile, trying to sort out the virgin, man. It's virgin. Then I mess me up. The intention was never to have Kevin come on here and defend anything. In truth,
no. Listen,
no, I get that. Whoa! You calm down now. No, you back off now. Yeah, because I know him very well, and that's why he can talk about man and man running up and down the street. That's why he can hold this conversation with you, and it really wasn't about that today. In actual fact, was all about Valentine's. And whether or not we are preventing the youngsters from enjoying those sweet moments that we had as kids growing up, when we used to pass cards amongst each other. And then we grew up, and we, as Kevin pointed out, we started to understand and learn what history was about. And as we grew and we found out that the history of Valentine's stems from Babylon, well, I would say a pagan religion. are we taking it too seriously?
Like,
do you want any of us to answer that, or would you like Kevin to?
No. This is a conversation for all, really, because I mean, what are you doing for Valentine's, Aston? What are you doing yourself, Kevin? You know, I said Julie kind of bitter right about now, so we won't hold that conversation.
Wow. I might bun you before I bun Valentine's.
Because there's a lot of male sisters out there, I know, who ain't got no man to the night, so they say they got to send themselves cards, yeah? But do you think we're taking it too seriously?
So I think that in agreement with what was said in the whole discussion, the awareness around Valentine's is really important. It's still about people's choices. I think that once people understand the history, then it becomes less commercialized. So if somebody wants to send a card, let them send a card. But the fact that there is a big emphasis on the commercial aspect of Valentine's rather than the fact that people, and I'm not talking about the historic stuff about Nimrod and all the other stuff, just the whole essence of love. But I don't believe that the love needs to come from a card. The love needs to come from chocolates. Only dark chocolates, by the way, yeah?
Yeah, here you go. You see what just happened there, Kev? Did you see what just happened? I don't really believe in Bun it.
I know about that dark chocolates. I know milk chocolate. Milk chocolate is not real chocolate. It's vegetable oil and all them stupidness, the man. Let it go. So for me, yes, I entertained Valentine's when I was younger because we didn't have that understanding. We didn't feel that there was any history other than it being about a day of love. But in actual fact, as we've gotten older and as we've gotten wiser, then we inform everyone and they make the choice. So those who want to go out and buy, off you do. You know what I mean? Go ahead. I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's also important that we do, for those people who haven't really looked into Valentine's. I mean, Shugs is asking a question here is, wasn't Valentine's a gay man?
There's a lot of people that, yeah.
Whereas to my understanding, he never was gay. My understanding is that he was a preacher who used to go around and marry Roman soldiers men who became Roman soldiers because they didn't want to go into the army. They didn't.
I think it was more about the debauchery and the activity that happened at the time.
Right. So the debauchery is coming from the time of paganism itself, because that's how they celebrated the festival. I mean, really and truly, Valentine's was about a seasonal change, right? And the thing is that it's like you all of a sudden you'll notice that animals will start mating. It's like it was a mating season that went mad.
Yeah, well, you just watch the squirrels then.
Yeah.
Probably because it's no longer cold.
They run
off. Last one in before they run out and the heat.
Things swivel up when they get cold. It doesn't work the same.
But as soon as it gets a little bit warmer, the women run away because they got a little bit more speed.
That's the thing, though, if you've been in hibernation all summer, all winter, when you come out, you want things, man. So it's like, I need to get my stuff.
Yeah, man.
So that might be it. But, you know, Valentine's, it's like Christmas Day. Jesus wasn't born on the 25th of December. We all know that. He was probably born in September, and we are stressing out about Christmas Day when it's not. Listen, if I know when Rudy's birthday is, why am I stressing buying presents for my wife and my kids? If it's Rudy's birthday, I'll buy Rudy a birthday present. So if it's Jesus' birthday, why are we stressing ourselves out buying presents for other people that ain't got nothing to do with him? Valentine's is the same thing. I said it yesterday. Roses today and tomorrow are twice the price as they were last week.
Absolutely.
So it's like, I like what Jules said. If you want to do Valentine's, if you want to do Valentine's, do it. If you don't want to do Valentine's, don't do it. But you have to have a conversation with your partner, your spouse.
Yes.
And don't, because I went through a season when my mum and dad were married on Valentine's Day. And that's where I get some of my game from, because my dad had game. You know them ones.
An expensive wedding.
But they. So my dad's birthday is on the 16th of February.
Oh, that's the day my sister died, and my sister's birthday as well. So yeah.
Well, so watch this now. My dad passed away 18 years ago, so I'm cool. You know, he's gone home to be with me. I'm cool with that. So when my dad passed, so when Valentine's Day came up, the first Valentine's Day after my dad passed, my mum was obviously suffering. And obviously then 2 days later you get my dad's birthday. So that period is not good. It wasn't good for me. So I kind of Valentine's Day just went away. But then, and obviously as time goes by, you get over the loss of your father and you move on. But then I realized that I was still not doing Valentine's Day. And I didn't occur to me, maybe I should have a conversation with my wife to think, you know, how do you feel about this? What's your stance? And I think that's what we got to do. Right. You know, Valentine's Day, as far as I'm concerned, it's a nonsense.
Is it though? That's my thing. Is it really a nonsense? Because it's
a
sign of affection? Is it a sign of I care? Is it not a sign of yes, I'm thinking of you? Yeah, you could be running with the crowd. I get that. But I do believe that ladies like to be treated like ladies. Ladies like to have the door open. As much as they say, no, I can open the door for myself. You don't open that door and see what I'm to. You know what I'm saying?
So you're getting bun twice then?
You know what I mean? It's like I feel sorry for us men in terms of the lengths that we would go to. Just to impress our partners. And the thing is, it's not only humans who do this. I mean, take a look at this.
Now, just imagine, you work hard, real hard. You save your money, you join Susu, you went to the bank, you take out loan just to be comfortable, and you buy a nice little car. And out of nowhere, the village bully just come and start to do your car this. Boom, bam, bam. Push your little car on the side to impress his girl. You understand? Just to impress his girl. You understand? And then she walking across and wagging she tail, and he just messing up your car, ripping up your car, your whole car door. You understand? Your poor car where do nobody nothing. And she all excited watching what she husband doing. You understand? He just trying to impress her more. And it's bang, 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 bang for your poor car. You understand? And then she walking up to him and watch. Look, she rubbing up on him. Hey, like that now, give him more energy. Baby, back up. I'm gonna mess this vehicle up. Look, hey, all on the fender. Look, oh my God, Lord Jesus.
Wow.
I mean, that's typical. That's typical man behavior, though, isn't it? You will do anything to impress a piece of skirt.
Where you get them chicks there from?
Believe it or not, that came from Shugs.
Wow.
That came from Shugs.
Oh God!
You say that you're sorry for men, but in actual fact, men have created that because it wasn't women that said we needed all of this adoration and all the other stuff. Remember, historically we grew up in a male-dominant society. Therefore, how could we then say this is what we need? Come on now.
Hold on.
I don't agree with that at all. My question, I really would like to know, because we've really run out of time. I really like to know your I mean, what do you recollect when you think of Valentine's, Coach Astrid?
You know what? I remember Valentine's Day from school when I used to get cards and gifts and all sorts. And that was nice. But my mum soon put me straight on, that's not what's important. It's about how people treat you. All year round, not just on that one day, although that is the one day where you get the opportunity to maybe put things right. If you haven't been treating your partner in a loving way, or in a way where you put them first, or in the best way possible, then that's a day where you have the opportunity to start from experience, do something, and then carry on in that vein. So that's what I learned. So I don't look to Valentine's Day to get cards and gifts and presents and chocolates, although I do like dark chocolate, please.
Come on now, girlfriend.
And don't get me wrong, like the flowers too.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
At the same time, I like all of that, but I don't expect that. I expect you to treat me every single day with respect, with love, show me love every day. Don't just wait for the one Valentine's Day. And when you find out what Valentine's Day is about, you don't even need to do it on Valentine's Day. Just do it every day. If you respect me, do it every day.
Okay, I like that. What I'm gonna say at this stage is sorry I couldn't really be in the beginning and you know throughout the conversation with you guys, but as you can see, I've got my co-host here and he covered for me perfectly well. I'm sorry that he bullied you, Kev. I really am sorry.
No,
you know,
no bullying.
You should have picked up one of them old dumbbells and lick him in the head, yeah? But you know what I like the way that you just batted it away.
I didn't even get into my piece of material yet, you know? So
that's unfortunate. That really is unfortunate.
You understand?
That's really unfortunate. But it's been great having you here, Kev. And I'd like to call upon you now and again when you know when you've got the time. It was really appreciative.
It's been really good.
And Juicy Julie, man, you are a wonder without a shadow of a doubt. You are, man. You are. You know what I mean? You bring balance, which is what.
And that's what happens. You read the comments and people are making comments and you'd like to address the comments because they are addressable. And it isn't about me pushing my faith on people. It's just about, I'm going to tell you what I know from my experience. And then you can decide what you do with what you've heard. If you agree with me, fine. If you don't, fine. I ain't got a problem with that. You know.
And he really doesn't. This man, right? This man would get up in the middle of a dance hall, yeah? Take the mic. Take the mic, you know. We was in the park. I see Kevin say, well, I'll pull up that reggae music. We don't need that right about now. We don't like one party at the end, you know. And he started talking to us and I was like, this man, that's something else. You know what I mean? You're worse than a comedian in that respect, man. When the dance is going good and everyone's crubbing up and then all of a sudden you hear, all right, we're going to have a comedian come talk to us now. Everyone's like, oh, that is Kev. That is Kev. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
There are a few words that you'd like to say to our panel before we close the show.
I just think that, you know, when you're given a platform, you know, Uncle Ben said to Peter Parker, with great strength comes great responsibility. I think we all have we have a platform and we need to be responsible with the platform. So all of you have a voice and use that voice well to say what you've got to say, and also have some fun, man. One thing with me, I met some Christians that they looked like their face was ironed in starch. I'm like,
just going to say sourpuss, but anyway, that's Jamaican.
I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying my life as a Christian. You know, you might come to my house and see me doing housework and I'm listening to some serious tunes in the background. I'm enjoying life. And I'm just honored to be on this platform. And just, you know, as a community, we need to come together. Definitely as a Black community, we need to come together. And then we need to come together as a wider community to do our thing and have some fun doing it. I don't know if that was addressed to anybody individually, but it's just a sort of I'm really honored to be on this. And I'm going to be sending a message about
really good of you to say.
My manager's going to be inboxing you with my my invoice.
Your invoice, yeah, okay.
I hope your manager's your wife.
Always got their hand in your pocket.
Sorry?
You know, the steeple needs fixing. The chairs then broke down. Thing wrong now. Put in couple shekels. You know what I mean?
A Blue Peter fund that raise the roof. Yeah.
That's right. There's always money that's got to be raised. So Pastor is also a businessman, I believe. So you know what I mean. There's nothing wrong with that. But hey, me broke right about now. Me dep on furlough. That's what I'm up to say. Me dep on furlough. So Juicy Juice, what would you like to say, darling?
I think I've said enough. I just think it's been really good. Thank you to everybody for continuous comments. It's been really good. I do believe that Pastor Kevin Dawkins has given us some really good perspectives, not just about faith, but also about his journey, which has been really good and very relatable. So thank you. Yeah. And as for Valentine's, I'll be washing my hair.
You know, and let me say this real quick. I'm going to be vexed because the American football season finished last Sunday.
I know, I'm so upset. I love the NFL. Me and you need to talk. I love the NFL.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but definitely. So I'm like, after the church, we're online broadcasting our church, and then my wife.
You did the Super Bowl in church?
Listen, when I was online last week Sunday, I had my Miami Dolphins shirt on and my Miami Dolphins hat, and that's how I preached the word.
We need another meeting with this man. Super Bowl is my journey. Oh my gosh, I must be the only woman that absolutely loves the Super Bowl. I am not the only woman.
I wasn't too sure about Aston, but I always knew I liked you.
I'm kidding. Look at it. If I knew you was a Dolphin man, I would have worn my shirt as well. So there you go.
Which one's that one?
Dolphin.
Are you a Dolphins fan too?
Yes.
Go Fins. Come on now. Come on.
Go Fins. Coach
Ashton.
Coach Ashton, would you like to tell us about your weekend and how we can get hold of you as a life coach?
Hold me. What am I up to? As you know, 2 of you joined me this morning for Mindful Mindset Meditation, which I do every weekday morning, 7:30 for about 20 minutes, just to get you set up for the day and have a positive and productive day. I'm on 8:30 tomorrow and on Sunday. I do later on the weekends, so you're more than able to join me. And it is about, as Pastor was saying, it's about, getting your thinking around what's going on and relating it to what's happening day to day. And I do always start off with, a piece of wisdom, talk about that, then bring in the mindfulness.
What was the piece of wisdom this morning?
This morning it was about
loving life.
Loving life, that's right. Loving life, and actually, no matter what happens, love life. And love life in a way that's going to keep you moving forward in a positive way.
Lovely. That's a lovely way out. That's beautiful. Eh? What do you think? What do you think?
That's me.
That's it, man.
As you can see, I'm wearing red because I knew we were talking about Valentine's Day. So.
Okay.
And
I do apologize, Aston, unable to get through and get round to it, but I know we'll get round to it at some point.
Never mind.
We'll get to yoga. No doubt it will get. We'll get there. So, do you have any final words, Aston?
You know what? Thank you once again for joining us today, and it was a very important conversation. Some questions that has been, I feel, that everybody would like to hear, and look forward to hearing from you again and seeing you again, because that this is a journey that we all could just go on, and it would just go on, and that's what life is about. We progress in our lives. So thank you once again.
Thank you, panel. I have to say thank you to everybody. I mean, we've all just listening to the conversation. I spent more time listening, and it's all about growth. From what I'm hearing here, it's all about growth. It's all about Sankofa, understanding what it is to look back in order to come forward, and realize that there are festivals and things that we do participate in, unknowing to us of the history of it. But wrapped up in that is humanity, and I think the biggest thing that I got from this morning was about communication. That constant communication, one between husband and wife or man and woman, with reference to Valentine's, but more so just as people, because the world is a rainbow of people based on environment as opposed to intellectual, superiority, which is racism, and we've gone beyond that as a people. I think we should allow the kids to do what they have to do. And yes, they have changed, but their playground, believe it or not, has got bigger. It's global. It's not about just going down to Hampstead Heath anymore. It's about talking to that little guy in Japan, talking to that girl in Australia, which is what we didn't have, because I've noticed that the narrative is starting to move now with reference to how they think and how they behave. So once again, thank you very much for joining us on Rudi Lickwood Rants this morning. I thank everybody for joining us.
Can I just quickly say, someone's just asked, what church are you? Where is your church?
I was, you know what, I had my finger on that button actually. This was the question. That was the question.
So my church, we're if you on Facebook, you can find me. Our church is called Faith Tabernacle, so the link is Faith Tab UK because it's a page, it's not a profile page. We're on YouTube, Faith Tabernacle TV. But if you're on Facebook, just direct message me or send me a friend request, and I'll give you the details. That's no problem.
Okay, that was brilliant, man. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for us to part. And as we part, we keep it real. Watch out for the promos. Guys, please don't disappear. If you're going to disappear, I totally understand.
Bada 21. They say knowledge is the path to enlightenment, but I still don't know if they right in her. Bada 21. They say knowledge is the path to enlightenment, but I still don't know if they right in her. I see some clued up freedom fighters that ain't fought off the demons inside of them yet. I see some pure hearts that's willing to ride but let vampires suck off their vibes. And I see people stand and unite, willing to fight for what they think was right. Badder, you gon' make it. Make what? After I ain't living in mansions, whips outside, people still ain't got. You must have thought that this was bars to riches, like I was interested in cars and trinkets. Let me chat to them. Lockdown 3, Tier 5, Episode 1, Scraggly who's done it again. I left last year with him staring down the barrel of my lyric gun, and this year I'd do it again. Listen to me, I will blaze all year, don't they don't know me good. Make sure you stay grounded, so I keep it hood. I bun the lyrical fire, I pour the lyrical petrol, and I stoke it all with the lyrical beech wood. Then I ain't gonna stop till my people them eat good. You can keep your vaccines, cause no one ain't sheeps. Look, there ain't no trust with my people and vaccines. If you know about Tuskegee, you know what that means. If you don't know, then you need to look that up. The Tuskegee experiment is where they lost all the trust. Now it's one earth, yeah, we've all got to live on it, so finding some common ground is a must. But it's like someone who lies and cheats and steals and murders and still wants you to forgive them. And we've got the capacity to forgive, but first you got to put your hands up, say sorry, admit that. Do not act like you never did that. In the courts you don't show remorse. What do? They sting that. Same thing here. Let's have the proper conversation. Stop acting like things is really fair. You see, this year, I swear, there's no apologizing. See this black right here? There's no compromising. Not one time will I take the bass out my voice. Who don't like it, you can just stay frightened. You can't tell the Pied Piper how to blow his pipe. You can't pick for the devil's advocate which side. You can't tell me how to live my life. I tell you how I live my life. I really don't care who don't like it. What's white privilege? Let's be real. Storming the Capitol without getting killed. If that was a bunch of black souls, there would have been a bunch of black funerals, bunch of black mothers pulling on the clothes, a bunch of black people screaming out. It ain't fair. White people stormed the building and just walked out of there. So if we're gonna talk, then let's talk proper. If not, allow me to continue this hip hopping. The flow hot like red coal rocks and it won't stop. Last year was just a warm up. Now let's get it popping. I'ma use hip hop to do things they didn't realize. Teach your next generation, you ain't gotta fear, guys. You the most powerful thing on planet Earth. Young black queen, young black king. Know your worth. I give it to them like they've never had it. I take it old school, I drop the DA, let's just too bad it. The flow grab them and stank bad like rank cabbage. Now get to slapping this bad and rapping, you know what happens. I won't stop till it evens out. The best thing, the youngers is starting to believe it now.